I actually haven't been following your Instagram posts, so I don't know what you're talking about.
No, they're saying my Twitter is Instagram.
Oh.
Yeah, you should really stop posting all those pictures on those Instagram influencer pictures on Twitter.
Yeah, pictures with his food, like, oh, look at me, I'm eating a meal.
Ooh, listen to my audio. Listen to my stupid recording with audio, like an Instagram influencer. Oh.
With like a drum and bass background.
That's how you get popular on Instagram. You add music to your video.
Yeah. Hong Kong skyline with Lena. Come on.
You should really stop doing that.
No, I think it's pretty popular.
No.
Only because Lena's in it.
Wow. Yeah.
That's a fair point.
Oh, wait, look who's there.
Oh, look. It's
Oh, hey. Hi.
So she's real.
We're recording, though.
Lena. We should put this on Instagram right now.
Hello.
Wait, let me screenshot. Print screen.
Are they being mean to you again?
They're being very mean.
Oh no.
Oh, we're so mean. Poor Samson. We're toxic maximalists.
Well,
I don't think she can actually hear us.
no, she can't hear you.
That's probably better.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Can she go so we can start the
I
show?
have no idea what
Just start the show.
Okay, let's start the show.
Magical
crypto.
Magical crypto. The best thing to do is simply to hodl. What's a young pony to do in a sea of shady ICOs? A lion's courage can light up even the darkness of shadows. Unlike the corporate suits, the whale panda is wise. A chicken dreams about the moon while soaring in the skies. As Bitcoin sees new all-time highs. All around me I see big blockheads. Magical crypto. The best thing to do is simply to hodl. We'll always buy the dip, and we'll always be the best of the rest.
So, welcome to episode 24 of Magical Crypto Friends with me, Will Panda, Ricardo, who's in a very strange place. It looks like he's being held prisoner somewhere. Charlie Lee with his sword. And Samson now without Lena, which is strange now. First a word from our sponsors. This is the first time we get a sponsorship, and if you want to sponsor us, you can always outbid Bitsy.
Yes, we'd like to thank our sponsor for this episode, Bitsy. Bitsy is a Dubai-based multi-currency exchange. They offer spot trading and Futures 2.0 with 100x leverage. Futures 2.0 are upgraded futures that you can trade and settle in any combination of crypto and fiat currencies available on Bitsy. So you no longer need to trade in the asset you're speculating on. You could, for example, short ETH with BTC and euros and receive your payout in USDT. This month, Bitsy began offering Litecoin spot and futures trading. The next launch is going to be Bitsy's integration of Liquid Tether. Visit them at btsc.com.
That was great.
That was perfect.
That was nice. It almost came out of my nose, but
I think Ricardo is doing every single one of them from now on.
yeah.
Yeah, we don't need to rotate. There's no rotation now. It's just Ricardo.
If he's willing.
Every time with a different voice
That was pretty cool.
or a different accent.
I mean, I have to do it in movie guy voice every time.
Okay, so thank you, Ricardo, for that awesome advert. So let's start the show. Litecoin hit its halving, and there's been a lot of FUD also about Litecoin. So I think Charlie wants to talk a bit about Litecoin.
The halving was pretty successful. What do you guys think? I mean, the hash rate dropped a little bit, but nothing really went wrong.
What's the price?
What's that? Go ahead.
What's the price?
The price? Well, everything dropped, so. But people speculate around the halving. So I mean, the Litecoin price went up quite a bit before the halving, and then afterwards it dropped a little. The same thing happened like last time.
Well, Litecoin it still has like the majority of the script miners, so I guess it makes sense. Might drop a bit, but it's still going well. I
Yeah, it
guess.
has was it like almost 99% of all script hash rate, which is pretty incredible. Even Bitcoin doesn't have like 99% dominance of SHA-256 because of Bcash, right?
And BSV.
And BSV.
Will you guys stop talking about Bcash and BSV? Let them die already.
I don't think if by talking about it they won't. We're keeping them alive. So
Well, you're putting them back in the spotlight.
okay, then let's put Litecoin back in the spotlight.
This whole episode is Litecoin, isn't it? The next topic is Litecoin too.
Yeah,
Yeah, it kind of is.
yeah. Litecoin Foundation should actually sponsor.
Yeah.
That would be nice. So yeah, the halving was a success, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
Because the price also halved, but other than that, it's fine.
well, the price like went up 3-4x this year, so whatever. Go up 3x, half, and then go back up. It's crypto.
But you've been getting a lot of. I can say. I know that the editor will edit this out anyway.
We'll beep you out.
So
Litecoin.
about Litecoin development, and especially like the thread that you made to explain the Litecoin development, how the Litecoin development works, even got you more.
Yeah, these days, I mean, everything I do, I get on it.
See, Charlie, you just have to learn. Stop talking to people online.
I guess I should just stop tweeting. Yeah, if I don't tweet, then no one can reply to my tweets.
Pretty much.
I think that's the solution. Yeah.
So how does the Litecoin development work?
Yeah, so this recently there was this like development FUD happens pretty much like every year since Litecoin's been created. The reason why people look at like the Litecoin GitHub repo and they see that like not much work has been done in the past few months, and because of that they think that the Litecoin developers like took a few months off or took the year off. I think the reason why this happens is because it's not a secret that Litecoin basically is mostly Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin developers check in their stuff, and then after the release, we merge their stuff into Litecoin. So effectively, Bitcoin developers all work on Litecoin because their code is in Litecoin. But because we do that, like the commits are dated like 3 months ago or 3 to 6 months ago when we actually do a release. So what actually happened was this year we released 0.17 in May, but most of the commits for that release was done last year. So in our GitHub repo, it seems like there weren't a lot of commits from this year because most of them from last year. So even though we did do a release, it looks like we didn't actually do anything this year. But that's not the case. So last year there was the same FUD. Next year there'll probably be a similar FUD. It'll be like, you guys worked so hard in 2019, but then you took 2020 off. Which is, yeah.
Huh. What's happening with your Mimblewimble stuff?
It's slow, but we're working on it. Actually, I'm actually working with a Gradient developer on it recently. So we're still trying to figure out how to kind of make this work and present it to the community to make sure there's actual consensus. Because it's actually quite controversial to add kind of a privacy part to Litecoin. Because recently, like, you hear about Zcash getting delisted and all these privacy coins getting delisted. So, I mean, we'll see.
Charlie, is the intent for you to replace the base protocol with the Mimblewimble and then stop keeping or syncing with Bitcoin upstream?
No. So initially, the idea is that we add. This is all just what we're currently thinking of. We don't know.
Yeah.
Adding Mimblewimble as as extension block. So extension block is kind of, you can think of it as like a side chain, but it's a side chain that is kind of attached to the main chain. So all the miners are mining both the main chain and the extension block at the same time, after a soft fork, that is. So the Mimblewimble chain would just go alongside the main chain, and then you have peg in and peg out. So you can move Litecoin from the main chain to the Mimblewimble chain and move out when you need to. And once you're in the Mimblewimble chain,
that's much like what we're doing with Tari on Monero. Similar sort of idea.
Yeah, Batari is merge mine, right, with Monero.
Yeah.
So it's similar, but with extension block, it's actually every miner is mining both at the same time. It's not like after a soft fork, it's a requirement, right? So yeah, it's similar. And then so once you're in Mimblewimble, then you're like fully private, and you get all the benefits of the privacy from Mimblewimble. The interesting thing is that exchanges will likely not support the Mimblewimble side or extension block of Litecoin, right? They will still support the main chain, and that's perfectly fine. If you want to buy and sell Litecoin, you'll be doing it on the main chain. But once you have your Litecoin, you can move to the Mimblewimble side if you want to. Not sure if that's going to be controversial. Not sure if exchanges or regulation will consider Litecoin to be like a privacy coin. It's something that I'm thinking a lot about, and it's a kind of a fine line we have to walk.
So it's kind of like Litecoin 2.0
with beacon chain.
But the one thing that I'm thinking about is it's possible that if the Mimblewimble side becomes so successful that everyone wants to be using that, and wallets, let's say wallets and exchanges all support that, then it's possible you can like kind of kill off the main chain, right? If everyone moves onto the Mimblewimble chain, so that you can make the whole coin like fungible and private. But I think that's going to be super controversial if that ever happens.
I think it's a big if. It's
a possibility.
It's really sad that that there's even controversy around privacy. I mean, I think there's a moral imperative to add fungibility and privacy as a result to cryptocurrencies, and the fact that anyone treats it as controversial is just crazy. I mean, except for Craig Wright, who's just weird.
Craig Wright. Yeah. Well, let's not talk about Craig Wright. So I think it's the world we live in, right? I personally think the coins should be fungible and should be private. Financial privacy is extremely important. But there's a compromise, right? So if we make Litecoin like fully private and then it gets delisted from all the major exchanges, then it's going to hurt adoption. So we don't want that, but yeah, it's the world we live in, unfortunately.
So how is it incentivized? What's the incentive for the miners to mine the extension blocks? Because we had this discussion for Bitcoin before, and I think
with extension blocks, isn't it mandated in the protocol? They don't have a choice.
Yeah. So if the soft fork happens, then they will be forced to mine the extension block. So it's a soft fork, right? Once the soft fork activates, then they have to mine both blocks, right? Otherwise, it will be an invalid block.
Right, but what if the fees get lopsided? Is there any problem there, or is there is there a way that they can not mine the extension block, or do they have no choice but to mine both?
They have no choice; they have to mine both. Right. So they can mine the extension block and not include any transactions there, for example.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's a possibility. Just like they can not include any transactions in the main chain. So there's all these details we have to work out, like how would fees work on the extension block, the peg in and peg out. Does it require like 100 confirmations before the peg out could work? Like how sidechains do it. All this stuff. It's not simple, right? Have to make sure it works properly.
Is there a forum that people can go if they want to participate in these discussions?
So Litecoin Dev on IRC. So we try to keep most of the discussion public, but I mean, right now it's mostly just a few of us just talking about it. So yeah, we definitely welcome more people joining us and talking about it. I think there's a lot of like discussion that needs to be done about what to use and what to do, and kind of a lot of decisions we need to make. So yeah, we still need to get consensus, right? it's kind of tough for me to just say we're gonna do this, and then like that might not be the best thing for the coin, and that might not be what everyone wants. So
you can't say stop trading now.
I should try that.
What are you expecting the general response to be when you guys have a solid proposal and like something concrete?
From what I can tell, I think people really like Mimblewimble, really like fungibility and privacy, but people definitely have concern about how this is going to hurt potential adoption if exchanges start like delisting Litecoin because of this. So I'm not sure, to be honest. Like I think people want it, but no one knows for sure if this is definitely the right thing to do at this time.
Right. So what's the timeline? Is it like this year, next year?
I don't want to give timelines because last time I gave a timeline, people would try to hold me up to it. So when I first announced we were going to look into it, this was back in February, and someone asked me, I said probably 2019. But we're still working hard on it, and so probably won't be 2019 because we have to come up with the proposal, we have to implement it, and also it has to go through a soft fork. Right? It has to either miner activation. Yeah, so we also have to decide about that, right? Are we doing BIP 9? Are we doing
activation method?
Yeah, are we doing BIP 8 where miners can activate it sooner, but if they don't, then after a year it automatically activates, becomes like a UASF kind of thing, or what do we do? That's always a fun topic to think about.
Talking about a fun topic to talk about. Let's see what I did there.
You're so good.
So let's move on.
You just did a segue.
Let's segue into the next topic.
So one thing that came up recently is we just talked about scammers and frauds. You mentioned Craig Wright. Let's move on to the next one, which is Roger Ver. He's been going crazy recently.
You mean crazier?
Crazier recently. First, he said that Peter Todd was bribed by the government to implement replace by fee. And a couple of days ago, last week or something, he said that Jack and Stark must have a romantic relationship, because otherwise it makes no sense that Jack invests in Lightning Labs.
So he's talking about Jack Dorsey from Twitter and Square.
Yeah, Jack from Twitter, yeah. I can call him Jack. He follows me on Twitter.
First name basis.
I find the whole thing so frustrating because if people like a particular technology, like especially someone like Jack, who is a reasonably good technologist, well respected, and has clearly identified Bitcoin as having the greatest shot at longevity, and is building a company around that. I mean, he's literally building a company around Bitcoin's survival, and why on earth would it have anything to do with outside influence? It has more to do with just him being a good technologist, and I don't understand why anyone would even like go down the road of trying to find other reasons for that. Like, anyone who supports Bitcoin must have some sort of undue influence from some government or some external party. And then to immediately jump to like romantic entanglement, it's a little bit childish.
A little bit.
You know what it's from? It's probably his personal experience with Jihan and Craig.
So he was romantically interested in Jihan.
Probably. I don't know. I have no evidence, but you know.
I have no evidence, but actually I have evidence. You will see a picture right here about a romantic relationship between Kelvin, Craig Wright, and Roger Ver drinking together. I mean, that's kind of romantic, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of romantic.
Well, there's no other reason why Roger would drink with Calvin and Craig, right? I mean, there's no other reason why they would be together unless they have a romantic relationship.
Of course.
Yep, that's the point.
But I have no evidence.
Well, I have evidence. I have a picture. Okay, that's enough time spent on him. Questions from fans. So, first question: are you going to discuss the fact that Fluffy Pony thinks you cannot have a partnership with a digital currency, and this would be considered a scam, whilst Satoshi Lite is busy partnering with the football club and UFC. So this is about there was a mention recently that someone partnered with Monero and you denied it. But obviously there is a big difference here because we're talking the sponsorship is from Litecoin Foundation and not from Litecoin, right?
Yeah, so maybe a good reference point is if everyone remembers, like a little while back, the Fortnite merch store added Monero support briefly before being like attacked by 1,000 million people on Twitter and pulling Monero support off the merch store. There were a couple of news outlets that said that Fortnite had partnered with Monero, which was clearly not the case. Adding support to it is not the same as partnering. And I think that it's largely the same. If the Litecoin Foundation go out and they convince someone to accept Litecoin, even exclusively, that's not the same as partnering with the cryptocurrency, although news outlets might interpret it as that. The thing that happened online, or the thing that happened with this ICO, or IEO rather, is they specifically stated in a blog post that they had partnered with Monero. That's very different from a news outlet stating that they'd partnered with Litecoin. Someone had partnered with Litecoin. This is someone who's themselves claiming that, and I needed to correct the record because it's not possible to partner with Monero. Just like it's not possible to partner with Litecoin. You can certainly partner with the Litecoin Foundation or partner with Charlie, but you can't partner with Litecoin. It's not possible.
And you can also have a romantic relationship with Charlie.
You can. But you can't have a romantic relationship with Litecoin.
or the Litecoin Foundation, for that matter.
You can try. How many people are in the Litecoin Foundation? I mean, it might get a little bit weird.
Yeah, actually, this point is pretty interesting because it does get kind of confusing when people talk about like Litecoin partnering with the UFC or with Miami Dolphins, and media get confused all the time. And when I think I have a problem with that, if they keep on saying that, it makes it seem like Litecoin is not a decentralized currency, and that just hurts like the image for Litecoin, right?
Yeah, but they're gonna keep saying that.
Yeah, they're gonna keep saying that, and so I make an effort whenever like we do a partnership that, for example, we announce a partnership. I make an effort to make sure that we talk about Litecoin Foundation partnering with so and so, and not Litecoin partnering with so and so, and also we use like the Litecoin Foundation logo, stuff like that. But yeah, I try quite hard to like make that distinct. But the media always talks about Litecoin partnering this and that.
Okay, so the next question, it's for Samson. Is Liquid a solid project? And if it is, why wasn't it called ICE?
Liquid is a solid project, and it's called Liquid because the idea is it brings liquidity to markets. It's that simple. So the example I like to give, like in terms of if you're looking at the states of water, if Bitcoin is ice, it's hard to move around, it's slower to move around, but ice in liquid form is water and it's faster to move. And it can get even faster if you go to a gaseous form, which would be even faster, like lightning.
So why wasn't it called mist or fog?
Because it's not vaporware.
It's not vaporware, and it brings liquidity.
Okay, well, that's it for episode 24. Thank you for watching, and thank you, Bitsy. On to the next show. Bye.
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 Magical crypto. Magical crypto. Magical crypto will always be the best of the best.
Should I leave?
Okay. We're done.
Okay.
Your cameo is done.
It just said we're done to Lena.
Was it very awkward?
What?
Was it very awkward?
No, it was not awkward at all.
It's very, very awkward.
It's very awkward.
It's great. Okay. We're starting the show now.
Oh, it's so cute. So cute.
So, welcome back to episode 24?
Maybe.
It's 24, yeah.
Is it 24 though?
It is.
Wait, we didn't release the 23 yet.
It is released now, when you're seeing this, obviously.
Oh, right. Right.
Yeah, we hope.
Wait, what?